This has been an incredible experience. The people have been, this is the third time we've won, but this is the biggest one. This is
No, you big lying liar. Donald Trump did win the Iowa caucuses. Dun, 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 dun. Good news for MAGA, but he can't even win without spreading election conspiracy theories. There were lies in that, and I'm sure you can all identify one. There are 2 lies in that. No, he did not win 3 times. Ted Cruz beat him in 2016, and of course he has to deny that. If we could bring up these results, I'm sorry, but it's been immortalized. You lost to Ted freaking Cruz. And also it's a reminder of how close that first caucus was between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders and how different history could have been had the months that came after that gone slightly differently. But no, you lost that one. And also it's not the biggest win. In 2020, you got 97% of the vote because no one was really running against you. So he both lied about his loss and lied about his win when he could have just said, thank you everyone for making me the winner of the 2024 GOP Iowa caucus. Very excited that I won. And he did, and it was a fairly dominant win. If you can see this, he got 51% of the vote. And everybody seemed to expect that, which is why everyone immediately turned to, well, but who's second? And we will talk about that as well. But first, Brett, it has happened as largely expected. Trump has won, and thus we take one step closer to the rematch that no one wants.
Like, I'm supposed to be upset at Trump because he's caught lying and he's such a liar, but there's something hilarious about forgetting about Ted Cruz. Or I'm just like, Ted Cruz is like, before I lost big time, I beat you, Donnie. All I had to do was just go make my accent thicker. And like, I don't know, that was Iowa back when Iowans were Iowans, when they could just, like, they would love to throw a curveball at the situation. And truly in 2016, no one knew whether they should take Donald Trump seriously. They knew that he was just like mopping the floor with his opposition in the debates, but they, this was the first actual result that's like, oh my God, this guy could be president of the United States.
100%, yeah, and it was pretty split. Marco Rubio got 1% less than Trump in Iowa, to put that in context. Jeb, 2.8%.
It's like the scene. That's the scene in The Last of Us where they're in Indonesia being like, I think there's something in the rice. Like before it's a global pandemic.
And then all of a sudden you get this man made of fungus.
And all his and all of Trump, like there was like an exit poll or something, or polls going in, so that 2/3 of the Iowa caucus goers now are election conspiracy theorists / election deniers, like a full 2/3. Like Iowa used to be the state that would toss you like a random folksy curveball. Yeah. They'd be like, no, we do not like inappropriate people out here in Iowa. We will give you like a Gephardt. We'll give, I don't know if he won. I think he cried after he lost. But like, we'll toss you a John Edwards. Like someone that's only secretly horrible, but outwardly 100%. Was like, my daddy worked in a mill. Like and that's what they were good at. And now it's just conspiracy theorists.
And I want to talk about conspiracy theories because look, Iowa was an interesting caucus in a few different ways. First of all, it had the lowest turnout since 2000 in competitive GOP caucuses, which interestingly was expected to hurt Donald Trump. The idea was that if not a lot of people turned out, then he would probably lose. And why was the turnout so low? It's not that people weren't excited. It was that it was bitterly cold, the coldest ever caucuses that have been measured. And interestingly, in the lead up to this, some people had theories about what was causing all of this cold. Laura Loomer, who could be our press secretary in a year, questioned whether Nikki Haley was using weather manipulation to steal the caucus from Trump. And she's not clear there about whether it's a weather manipulating machine or whether she thinks that she is Storm from the X-Men. But she thought that she would make it cold to steal from Trump. Well, it was cold, the turnout was depressed, and yet Trump still won. So I'm assuming Laura Loomer will be starting her show today by admitting that that was a crazy thing to say. And let's also acknowledge that we're doing our show, Brett, and she's doing her show. And many people would say, oh, those are like the same thing on different sides of the aisle. But she's talking about weather manipulation technology, and that is insane. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.